So the very first guest of our series is Tomiko Harvey. She is a SEO consultant. She's an SEO coach. She's an entrepreneur, and she does a host of other amazing things. So I hope that you will enjoy this interview, and I hope that you get something out of it. Tomiko Harvey, welcome to our very first Thought Leader interview series for 40 Rise Magazine. You are our first guest and you're our cover story. I'm so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you. I am so excited. I'm excited about being here. I'm excited about the first. I am like super excited. This is so amazing. Thank you for having me and choosing me, picking me, all of the above.
Oh, of course. Okay, I'm going to jump right into these questions. So I noticed that you have a new venture where you focus on SEO coaching and SEO consulting at tomikoharvey.com. How did you venture into the world of SEO, and what inspired you to become a coach and a consultant in this field?
So, you have to think back on blogging. And initially I was saying, I just want to make enough money so that I could cover my blogging expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Then it went from, I just want to make enough money to get somebody to help me with Instagram. Then I found out about Mediavine, which for me, it was Black creators still don't understand and know what ad networks are. And I saw all of these white creators making tens of thousands of dollars a month. I'm not talking about 4 or 5. I'm talking about like $20,000, $30,000 a month from their blogs, where they were bringing their spouses home who were like doctors, attorneys, and architects. And they were then learning how to become their photographers because they were bringing in so much money. So I then was like, okay, how do I figure this out? What do I need to do? And that sort of became my journey, really was to learn myself first and then to educate Black creators, because we still don't know.
In what ways do you believe that your work in SEO empowers Black women in business?
I think you have to, even if you want to be just a creator in general, you have to understand how to get people to see your content. And even like Instagram now and TikTok, they are all based now in SEO, which is search engine optimization. So when you think about how you are searching something on TikTok, or you're searching something on Instagram, or even your own website, what words, key phrases are people using to find the content that you are creating? If you're creating all of this wonderful content, but nobody sees it, then what do you really have? Right. And so for me, it is really educating Black content creators on the power of SEO and how to get people to see your content. To me, that is the main difference between white creators and Black creators. White creators really understand search engine optimization, and a lot of them don't even use social media because they understand Pinterest and Google. Google is the number one search engine, and Pinterest is the second highest search engine. If you have both of those two locked down, you're always going to have customers. You're going to have repeat customers. That funnel of income and revenue is never going to leave.
Yeah, I see Pinterest as one where I see a lot of people overlook Pinterest.
Yes.
Because they don't understand it, or they just don't realize how powerful it is to drive traffic back to your site.
And really, truth be told, if I'm honest, we are not just with social media and with influencers, we are a nation of instant gratification. Regardless of what field you're in, people want to see immediate results.
Right.
SEO doesn't give you immediate results. So if you don't have that instant gratification within a month or 6 weeks, you're like, oh my God, this isn't working. So you stop. You don't have that same virality that you will get with an Instagram or TikTok, but you're not making the money. So I tell my clients all the time, do you want to be Instagram famous or do you want some zeros in your bank account? You decide which path you want. There are plenty of social media people, content creators and influencers that have hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, but they are not making any money. They are Instagram famous. So you have to decide as a content creator, which one is more important to you.
Right. So you're really big in travel blogging. You are a big influence in that area. So how has well, actually, before I get to that, I want to talk about your experience with SEO and your travel blogging. So how did you integrate SEO with your passion for travel and blogging?
So this is funny. I call myself a luxury content creator because I'm not even gonna say I'm bougie. I like nice things. And so with liking nice things, I wanted to collaborate with luxury brands, hotels, destinations, because I like going to luxury places.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have Google Console, which is a free tool that Google uses to tell you how people are finding your content, what phrases people are using to find your content. So I started looking when I first started with understanding SEO, and Google was telling me that people were finding my safety content. People weren't finding me via luxury. They were finding me via safety. So then I had to say to myself, okay, self, do you want to keep writing about luxury and you're not getting paid and you're just going on press trips and you're not making any money and it's really not bringing any traffic to your site? Or do you want to talk about safety? So then I decided that Google is telling me what my audience wants from me. So I need to listen. So I started I still write about luxury, but that is not my money maker. So I started incorporating safety into every destination that I visited. And I write cluster posts around safety, around all of those destinations that I visit. And that's how I started really ranking on Google, because I listened to what Google was telling me about people are searching how to be safe. How is this destination safe? Am I safe as a solo traveler here? So I started incorporating all of those articles into my writing about destinations.
So with I remember when you first started. I remember when you first started in SEO and I remember when you first started your blog. You know, and I remember you talking about SEO, and at that time I had no understanding of what SEO was. I didn't know. I thought it would be too difficult for me to grasp. Tell people about what it's like coming to you as a SEO consultant. What are some things that they can expect reaching out to a SEO coach or SEO consultant? Because some people don't want to do the DIY stuff. It's just too much. And then there's others who don't have the time, you know, so just give us a little quick, you know, overview of kind of like what people can expect.
I really try to teach SEO in a way that it doesn't feel overwhelming. I don't use big words for the sake of using big words so that I can sound important. I think that people get overwhelmed with SEO because most people that teach SEO, they teach it from this high level and they use these, can I curse or no?
Go ahead.
They use these big ass words that nobody can understand. And when you hear these words, your brain automatically turns off. You're like, oh my God, what the F? Yeah. And so I try to make sure that when you come to me, that I am speaking your language. I am speaking in an everyday language that you can understand. I'm using scenarios that resonate with you in everyday life. And I'm going to help you figure out and understand hierarchy, understand where to put the keywords, understand about your website. And really also one of the scenarios that I use is it's like someone buys, you have this beautiful thing, right? And it's like having $1 million home. So you want everybody to see this beautiful thing that you bought for your website.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you come in your website, and I'll use it to come in the house, your roof is leaky, the pipes are messed up, the cracks in the foundation. So you have this beautiful thing, but the back end of your website is like crap, and you're like, oh, but it looks good. And
Right.
so I try to even teach that to people. And I use the scenario of a house because people can understand that. They can understand having a beautiful home on the outside, people riding by and like, oh my God, the pictures look so good and the theme looks so good, but your back end is crappy. And you're not gonna rank on Google because it's slow, it's heavy. You have all these million plugins on there because you want to look fancy, but it's not doing you any justice. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to help you in layman's term understand what all of these things mean in a language in which you can understand. And I'm not trying to use big words to make me look good to say I know what I'm talking about, but you don't understand. I'm doing you a disservice as my client.
Right. That's good. That's good, Tomiko. How has your approach to travel blogging changed since you figured out SEO?
I no longer stress about social media, and I've hired that off. I very rarely even go on Instagram. My new favorite social platform is Threads. And so with Instagram and TikTok and all of that is no longer a concern of mine because it's part of my job as a content creator. When I'm pitching to brands or brands come to me, it's my job to educate them on evergreen content and what SEO can do for them. And I tell them, do you want a Instagram post that is probably going to be, the algorithm is going to take it down within 24 hours. You won't ever see it again. Or do you want to have some evergreen content that's going to be on my blog and it's going to convert? And so it's my job to sell my blog to brands, not to convince them that to get me on for Instagram. I don't even sweat Instagram anymore because it's not my moneymaker.
Can you share a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced in your field and how you overcome them?
The biggest challenge is what we were just talking about is Instagram. Brands, they want Instagram.
Yeah.
Brands want content creators that have 100,000 followers. I have 15,000, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
I am what you would consider a micro influencer. That is probably the biggest challenge. But with that being the biggest challenge, again, I start my pitch, or when a brand comes to me, I don't talk about Instagram. I talk about my blog. I do my research on their destination. I do my research on how many people are Googling said destination. I do my research and I tell them, look, I can get to the first page of Google. This is how many people are searching for your destination. It is my job to educate them, not the other way around. They don't know what they don't know.
Right. Exactly.
But that would be the biggest challenge, is getting them to see the value in blogging and not take Instagram so seriously.
Right. Let's see. What impact do you hope to have through your role with the Black Travel Alliance and with TBEX?
I hope that I will take TBEX first. A lot of content creators feel like they're not seen. in certain spaces. My role with TBEX is to bring in Black speakers. I love bringing in Black speakers who would not have otherwise had a platform. This is sometimes their first time speaking at a travel event. And I can say I'm responsible for that. And so I love I am not a gatekeeper. That is something that, I pride myself in not being a gatekeeper and not, part of being a part of the Black Travel Alliance and TBEX is offering opportunities to people that would not otherwise get them. And with the BTA, we work with brands that pay content creators. We don't want to hire you for a deal and you get the same thing that you're getting on your own, which is brands saying we don't have money. So that is one of our pillars, is that we want to pay content creators. So if a brand is working with BTA, we're saying you have to pay our creators.
Okay.
And you have to pay them fair and equitably. And so I want to be known as someone who was a champion for Black creators, regardless of what field you're in, regardless of how old you are. BTA just had a press trip that was all Black. It was to the Galapagos Islands, and it was for content creators over 40, because there are content creators that are over 40. I'm 52. I'll be 53. That's almost probably ancient to be a content creator and to be in your 50s. So the BTA, we're looking at content creators, no matter your age, no matter your size, no matter what you talk about. We want everybody to get a piece of the pie. And I especially want everyone to get a piece of the pie, which is why I talk so much about SEO. I talk about pitching. I talk about brands. I want all of us, and again, people say there's enough room, there's enough money to be made for everybody, but then you have the gatekeeping. I don't want to be known to be keeping contacts and not helping people. Just this morning, someone reached out to me in my inbox and I gave her a whole 2-hour consulting for free. I didn't have to do that, but she didn't know. And you don't know what you don't know. Now, I may not do that for everybody. I was in a giving mood this morning, so I did it. But, you have to be able, and I'm not worried about, oh my God, somebody's going to know more than I know. And then that means that I won't have the next opportunity. I don't have a mindset of lack. And when you don't come from a lack mindset, opportunities are going to come your way anyway.
That's right. That's one of the things I really like about you. I like that you are definitely not a gatekeeper. Ever since I've known you, you share information, even when you don't have to, because sometimes we don't feel like it. And you do that. And I appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you on our launch cover, is because I know that the information that you're going to share is going to help so many people. And this is stuff that normally they wouldn't give for free.
Right.
So, future projects, what are your upcoming projects or goals that you have, particularly in the realm of SEO coaching and travel?
So I just launched. Last Friday was my launch for TomikoHarvey.com. I was so excited. I had a live virtual party where we talked about all things SEO. And, I was afraid. I was so nervous because, imposter syndrome is real. And so I was like, nobody's going to show up. It's going to be me. I've spoken about all these things a million different times, but it's always been on somebody else's platform. So I was like, well, if it busts, it wasn't mine. But this time it was me. It was my platform. I was doing the thing. I was so overwhelmed. I was so grateful. So my courses are coming out next. I'm working on that. I have a ebook that is coming out. TBEX North America is going to be in Puerto Rico in July. So everybody, if you want to meet with brands, that is a great way to meet with travel brands. I'm speaking at IMM in 2 weeks. IMM is the largest travel conference in the world. It's right above TBEX. So I'm going to be speaking there. I am just excited about all of the possibilities. One of my goals is to sell out my coaching sessions through the end of the year so that I can tell corporate America, I'm going to tell corporate America to kiss my patootie. I'm not going to lean on that anymore. So that is one of my goals, is to step out on faith and not be led through fear. So that's not a monetary goal, but it's something that I have said that for so long I keep relying on my day job. And I said, is it because we don't trust you? Why haven't you stepped completely out into your own and blossom into the entrepreneur that you know you can be? Why are you still leaning on corporate America? Do you not trust you as much as you trust them people to give you a check?
Mm-hmm.
So those are some of my goals. I know I was rambling. It's a lot.
No, when that happens, I'm going to be excited for you, because I remember when you first started talking about that. So to see that happen, that's a big deal. That's going to be a big deal.
It's going to be this year too, and it's going to be sooner than later. I've already have the plan in place on when I am exiting. So my husband and I, we are on the same page. We've decided that it's time. So it will be sooner than later.
So this is our last question, and I think it's one that is going to be the most helpful, I think, for people. What advice would you offer to those who are looking to reinvent themselves or delve into the digital world?
You know, in this world of looking at other people and watching what other people are doing, and I know it's going to sound cliche, but hone in on you. I will use me as an example. I could very well be moving away from the fact that I am a 50-plus-year-old Black woman that is starting a new career and in this digital space. But I really embrace the fact that I am 50 plus years old. And I think when you embrace who you are, and especially in a time where there is ageism is like really, really real.
Yeah.
Ageism is a real thing, especially in social media and being in these internet. And so for me, it is being a 50-plus-year-old woman. I don't think I look like I'm 50. I don't think I act like I'm 50. And so it is embracing who you are, because the people that are trying to reach you can't reach you if you're pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah.
The people that are trying to reach you, the people that you need to build relationships with, the people that are looking for you can't find you if you are pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah.
So for me, it is embracing the fact that I am a 52-year-old Black woman that is starting a new career, leaving corporate America. Is the things that I talk about. I talk about, you know, being menopausal all the time now. That is something that I'm moving into. I talk about menopause because that is the phase of life that I am in. Right. I'm not trying to talk about things that don't apply to me because I feel like it is trending. I am talking about real life things that affect me, and probably so me. I had a thread on where I talked about menopause on Threads, and it went like almost viral because people aren't talking about those things. Right. And I think being authentic to you and not looking at what other people are talking about and doing, I think that is the best piece of advice I can give. And again, I know it sounds cliche because everybody says, oh, be authentic, but you have to figure out what it is that you're passionate about and then pursue that in a way that feels good to you.
Yeah. I know one of the reasons why I even brainstormed coming up with 40 Rise magazine was to actually reach women in our age group, because we're often overlooked in social media. We're overlooked in even in Black media, even in mainstream media. Most of what you hear about us or
30
is
under 30.
yeah, 30 under 30. Or if there is news about, women in our age group, it's usually celebrity gossip. Things that don't really pay the bills at the end of the day when you think about it. So I wanted to make something where, women that are looking to reinvent themselves can see other women that look like them, that are their age, that are coming from corporate and transitioning over to something else. I want them to be able to see examples. You are an excellent example of that. I'm so glad you mentioned the fact about, preparing to leave corporate America, because there's a lot of people that want to do that.
And it's scary.
It is. It is. I know when I left, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I have been, I've been in a different type of situation where, I've been home as a stay-at-home mom for the past 12 years. I left corporate America. I don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it.
Right.
But leaving was very scary. When you don't have those benefits and you don't have that paycheck coming in, that can get really scary. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and then everybody keeps, and you have to get people. And one of the mistakes I made was telling people that I was leaving, because then people started making me second guess myself, because they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you make 6 figures, you have a company car, you have this," but I'm not happy.
Right.
And so, yes, and we are told you need to go get a job, you need to have the white picket fence, you need to make this amount of money. But that isn't bringing me happiness at this point. I have material things. So staying in a job that's unfulfilling is really doing what for me, besides making me sick?
Right.
And so I had to say to people here recently, within the last 2 weeks, stop telling me what I need to be thankful for. I need to be thankful that I'm given a job and that I have a paycheck, when I can do this myself. I'm making more money with just my blog alone, not even the SEO consulting, than I am. But people don't see that as a real job, because I'm not going somewhere sitting and some company isn't giving me a check. So people don't see that as a real job, even though I'm making more money from Passports and Grub than I am from corporate America.
That's good. So I am so glad that we had you as our very first thought leader interview. And you really are. You're a thought leader. I love the way you think. I love the way that you combine your digital smarts with everything else that you do. So I thank you for being with us today, Tomiko. How can people reach you? Tell us your contact info.
Yes. So my SEO website is my name. It is TomikoHarvey.com. If you need some SEO consulting, help with keyword research, local SEO, find me at TomikoHarvey.com. If you want to know about travel, where to travel, all things safety related, my travel website is passportsandgrub.com. And on Instagram, I am Tomiko.Harvey. That is where you can find me. Also, check out the Black Travel Alliance, and we're at blacktravelalliance.org. And if you are a content creator looking to go to a travel conference, check out TBEX Con. Yep.
Oh, thank you, Tomiko. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I am so appreciative. This was an honor. I cannot wait for this to launch. I'm so excited.